Another thing that I see are reflexes for driving. Now I know OMS kids, and me in particular, have bad reflexes when it comes to driving or sports or picking things fast. So, and I understand that because when I was younger and I had to do gym, that was one of the main reasons why I hated gym so much, is because I had really poor reflexes and I couldn't like act fast. So if we were playing volleyball and the volleyball came towards me, it would take a long time for my brain to process, yes, you need to actually hit the volleyball or else it's going to smack you in the face. So that's, that was one of the reasons why I hated gym so much, is because I had bad reflexes at the time. But that being said, the beginning of when I started driving, my reflexes weren't very good. Like, I would stop way before I actually needed to stop, and when I went to go turn out into traffic, I would second guess myself a lot, and I wouldn't know when would be a good time. So to fix that, the way I fixed it was I did it a lot. I did it constantly. I drove all the time with a friend, with my parents. My dad took me on back roads or into an empty parking lot, and we just drove all the time until it became like a routine thing. And for me, I guess the best way I can explain it to you guys who already have your license, for me, driving was like kind of learning a new language. Like, you can get it after you do it for so long, but you have to keep using that new language so it still remains fresh in your head. So it's, to know a language and to know how to speak it fluently, you have to do it a lot and you have to do it all the time so it remains fresh in your head. Well, for me, that's kind of how driving is. I have to do it a lot and I have to do it all the time so it remains fresh. And the more I did it, the more calmer I got in the car. I wasn't like all stiff looking over the steering wheel trying not to like drive into people. I'm actually more like relaxed and calm. Driving is difficult. Driving, you hear all those weird stories about how people got into accidents and all that stuff, and so it scares you into not wanting to do it because you don't want to be the one responsible for something like that. Well, you're going to have to learn sooner or later. I mean, it's not like you're required to learn how to drive, but if I can do it, you can do it, because anything for me is extremely difficult. So practice a lot. Go to like an empty parking lot after the store closes, after hours, and just with like your parents or a friend or somebody who has experience driving, and just drive around in the parking lot and do different like Y-turn maneuvers or parallel parking, or because the more you do it, the more it'll become almost second nature to you how to drive. For me, the hard part now for driving is not driving itself, it's actually getting to my destination. So if somebody says, okay, I want you to come over to this building at this time, and then I want you to come into this number room building, like room 305 or something. That for me is difficult. I cannot do that. To process that in my brain, it's like it hits a black wall, and I don't know, I can't remember the first thing I just said of what to do. So for me, if I have to get to a destination, I have to use a GPS, which gives me step-by-step instructions, because if I use a road map and I'm trying to drive and use a road map, that road map is completely gibberish to me. I cannot read it. I cannot understand it. I know what roads there are on there, and I know what cities are on the map. I know what states are on the map, and I know, what highways and stuff like that are on the map. But to actually follow a highway on a map and then turn on to like some dirt road or something that is not on the map, then I'm completely lost. That is near to impossible for me to actually do that. So that's why I have a GPS to give me step-by-step instructions of where to go. It's kind of, you know, for driving, that's one of the more difficult parts of it for me, but, you know, I've learned to live with it. I mean, that's all you can do, is just take the difficult situations in life and try to turn it around and make them more simpler, and just kind of learn to deal with it and live with it and find a new route on how to work it. So for driving, like, it makes me extremely nervous when there's a car behind me and he's really close. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but what I do is I pull off on the side of the road and I let them all pass, and that drives my sister crazy when I'm taking her someplace. But, you know, I'd rather be comfortable in a car driving than constantly looking in my rear view mirror trying to make sure that we're keeping a certain space between us. So I just, you know, that's how I deal with stuff in a car when I'm driving. Driving for me is going to be completely different from driving for you. So you have to find your own unique ways on how to, like, make that hard stuff simpler. Like, if you're really good at instructions or directions, but listening to somebody talk in the car and paying attention to the road at the same time doesn't work, well then probably a map would work for you better. Or your phone that has the little GPS that doesn't talk in it would probably work for you better. Or, you know, that kind of stuff. You kind of have to find your own way to maneuver in the world over these obstacles that, you know, are there for you. That's kind of this week's video. Kind of my driving my car, first time experience, how difficult it was for me, that kind of stuff. If you have questions or comments or concerns, or you want me to talk about something else, leave it in a comment below, or you can give me a video response. I like to watch those are fun. And I hope everybody has a really fantastic Valentine's Day. And remember, this is my Valentine's Day vlog this week for Thursday. I'm off next week, which is actually Valentine's Day week, because I have another project I'm working on. And then the following week, I will put that project up on my YouTube page, because it's going to be really cool. And I will see you in 2 weeks, okay? Bye, everyone!